There's this conversation that I think so many of us have, usually in the quiet moments, without even really realizing it. It's a talk with a person we used to be. And this isn't just about getting nostalgic, it's about looking deep within. I mean, who hasn't, right? It's such a universal feeling. This urge to reach back in time, maybe to give a little advice or a warning, or just to let them know it's going to be okay. But what would you even say? Because what we're really talking about here, at its core, isn't just a trip down memory lane. It's a profound journey of self-reckoning. It's about trying to fit the pieces together, the person you were and the person you are now, to finally see the whole picture. Okay, so first up, we have to tackle this huge idea that we're all taught, the myth of the straight path. We need to understand that life just isn't a straight line. We're sold this idea, right? This clean, simple formula. You study hard, you succeed, you settle down, and poof, you're happy. But the reality? Well, it's a lot messier. It's not a line at all. It's more like a series of loops where the past has this funny way of showing up again in the present. And what do we find in these loops? Well, suddenly we're face to face with the same old fears we were so sure we'd conquered, the dreams we thought we'd packed away for good, and yeah, even versions of ourselves we thought we'd outgrew a long, long time ago. But here's the thing, and this is really important. This whole exercise isn't about getting stuck in regret. It's not about wishing you could change things. It's about finding context. It's about understanding why you are who you are today. So let's talk about that person. Who exactly is this younger self we're having a conversation with? Let's paint a clearer picture of them. Just try to remember them for a second. They had this incredible, almost beautiful faith, didn't they? A deep down belief that things would just work out somehow. That if you just tried hard enough, you'd get the result you wanted. They trusted people easily, and their emotions, they were huge, unapologetic, and felt right down to the bone. But of course, there was another side to it. All that openness made them incredibly vulnerable. They just didn't have perspective yet. That comes with time. They hadn't built up the emotional armor that life kind of forces on you. And backup plans? They barely had a plan A. And this right here, this is maybe the most important distinction to make. It is so easy to look back and cringe at the things you did, to see it all as foolish. But it wasn't foolishness. It was innocence. And that part of you deserves compassion, not judgment. Okay, so we've reintroduced ourselves to our past. Now for the heart of it all. If you could send a message back through time, what would you really want to say? Let's start with this one, because it's a game changer. Think of all those moments that felt like soul-crushing failures. The embarrassment, the mistakes. What if they weren't failures at all? What if you were just learning in public? That simple reframe changes everything. It turns all that shame into valuable experience. And that is the gift of perspective, isn't it? Back then, every heartbreak, every setback, every closed door felt so final, like it was the end of the story. But now you can look back and see it for what it was. Just one chapter, not the whole book. Oh, this next one. This is for anyone who ever felt the sting of being left behind or not being chosen. Your younger self probably tried so hard to be enough for people who were just never meant to stay. And here's the tough wisdom that only comes with time. Sometimes, when a person leaves your life, it's not a rejection. It's actually a form of protection. Their exit was necessary to clear the path for the future that was actually meant for you. So far, we've been talking about all the things we could teach our younger selves. But what if we flip that around for a minute? What if the conversation goes both ways? What did they know that maybe we've forgotten? Think about it like an emotional trade-off. Back then, feelings were intense, sometimes overwhelming. Now, they're calmer, but maybe a little heavier too. We were hopeful and fearless. Now we're stronger and wiser. We traded that innocent, dramatic mindset for one that's clear, but also, let's be honest, pretty tired sometimes. And that trade-off brings us to this massive question, maybe the central question of being an adult. How do you hold on to all that hard-won wisdom without letting it kill the wonder? How do you stay smart without becoming cynical? Just let that sink in for a second. Before life taught you all the reasons to hesitate, all the ways you could get hurt, before you learned to be so careful, you were fearless. That person isn't gone. They're just buried under a few layers of caution, and they can be reclaimed. Okay, let's bring it all home. This last part is about resolution. It's about making a promise, not just to the past, but to the person you are still becoming. So picture it.
that younger you is sitting right in front of you, with all their big hopes and even bigger fears. They don't want career advice. They don't want to know who to date. They just have one vulnerable bottom line question for you. Did we make it? Are we okay?
And the answer you give them, it isn't some simple fairy tale yes. It's something more honest and more powerful. No, not everything is perfect, but we are stronger. We are so much more aware. And most importantly, after everything, we are still standing. We survived. And that might be the biggest realization of this entire journey. You might not have ended up being the exact person your younger self imagined, but all those twists and turns, they shaped you into the person you needed to be to handle everything life threw at you.
And maybe that's the real success story. It's not about achieving some old, forgotten dream. It's about becoming the adult that the child inside of you always needed. Someone strong enough to look back at that innocent, vulnerable kid and finally, truly say, "Don't worry, I've got you now."